Hey everybody, it's Kim here with Lolly Doodle Studios. We are finally live, I think, in all of the places. We are live on Facebook, the main page, also in the Free Beginners Brush Lettering group. We are also live tonight over on YouTube. So if you're joining me in any of those places, feel free to say hello. We had a little bit of technical difficulty as usual. This whole setup is a little new for me, and I'm going to talk to a few of my artist friends after this how I can get this set up so, it's not like square right here in my face. Hey Cindy, how are you, girl? So this is, I think, the third week in March. I started doing what I'm calling Tracer Tuesday, and I got a little fancy this week. I am sending out just a basic tracer, a word of the week, a word that is uplifting to me, that has meaning to me. And I'm sending that to all of my email insiders, anyone on my email list. You can get on my email list now, get tonight's tracer, look in the description box, and I've put the link there. So I hope everyone is doing well. If my dogs bark, bear with me. Hey, Melanie. My son just came in. He's going to head to the gym, so the puppies might bark just a bit. Oh, my lipstick is a little bit dark tonight. I was trying something new. So how is everyone this evening? I hope everyone is feeling loved. And last week our word was blessed. The week before our word was powerful. So these are all words that have meaning for me. That when I think on things, they have meaning and they inspire me. So I'm hoping that they do the same for you. So today's Tracer Tuesday, we're getting a little fancy. So I did like a cover, and I ended up printing both sides. So the back side this week, we did it a little bit differently this week. So you guys will have to let me know in the comments if you like this way better than the way we did last week. Just let me know your thoughts. So if you have not printed your tracer and you are on the email list, go check your emails, check your spam folder. You should have this. If you are not an email insider, why not? Just go get on it. I've put the link below in the description box. I'll send you this tracer right away. All you have to do is confirm, and it will come straight to your inbox. You can print it off and practice. So that's enough of me talking. We're still going to talk, but let's get us moved here so that you can see the desk. Oh, that is not good. It's very blurry. Let's see. Hopefully that will get better. It's very blurry for me right here. But as you can see, I took our word tonight, loved, and I broke it up. I broke this up so that you can take your brush pen and you can trace each letter individually, and you can also try to practice them going across. So with that said, let me find my little brush pen, my feud. Cindy, Melanie, I see you two on. Alexis, hi everybody, I see you on. Thank you for joining me this evening. And if you would like to learn more about lettering, brush lettering, hand lettering, there is a difference. And if you'd like to learn what that difference is, please follow me. Okay. And also, I think I'm going to refer to what we do from now on as drawing letters, because that is technically what we're doing. We are drawing letters as works of art, right? So when we are lettering, remember, everything that is going in an upward direction, we're going to keep light pressure on the tip of that pen, and we're going to have a light stroke. So up is light. Anything where we're pulling the pen back down towards ourself is going to be pressure placed down on the marker, and we're going to get a thick down stroke. Okay, so those are our basics of brush lettering. Up, anywhere upwards with the marker is a thin stroke. Anywhere pulling down is a thick stroke. So when we come off, and I am a lefty, let me know in the comments if I have any lefties here. I'd love to know. Maybe give me a heart if you're a lefty, or drop an L if you're a lefty. Hi, Laurie Wallace. How are you, girl? Let's do it this way. If you are left-handed, I want you to drop an L in the comment. If you're right-handed, I want you to drop an R in the comment. That way I will know. And what will also help me with the weeks going forward is if you have specific issues or need specific questions answered or demonstrated, let me know in the comments. So Melanie's right-handed. Cindy's right-handed. Laurie's right-handed. I hope you guys are learning well from me, considering I'm a lefty. But I'm a little bit on the special side, is that I can a little bit letter with my right hand. So you need to let me know, first of all, do you need to see me do this more with my right? It's not going to be beautiful, but it can be done. Okay, so I can show you that with the L. But if you are a lefty, I need to know that I am not alone. Put an L in those comments and let me know that you're here. Okay, so I'm going to use my right hand. I want you to be able to see how we hold the pen. It's almost perpendicular to the paper. That means it is not straight up and down. Doesn't matter what hand you're using. We're not straight up and down. Think straight up and down and then let the pen rest in your hand. Your hand is resting on the table. The pen is resting on your hand. 45-degree angle. Melanie, you can write with your left too. Isn't that weird? I don't know if it's, are you guys getting a bad echo or am I just hearing that on my end? When I was growing up, I think there was a big push to like make us lefties into right-handed people. So I can do a lot of things only with my right hand. Cindy, I'm glad to see that. I'm glad to hear. Okay, a little echo, but not too bad. Cindy, you've learned just fine watching me. Well, thank you. Perfect. So I hope that they're not doing that anymore in schools. I don't think that they are. But anyway, if you're right-handed, you're going to come in from the side, right? Light, we're coming in almost sideways and we're coming up. It's going to be shaky because I'm not a righty, but it's up with a light stroke. You had to learn in 10th grade due to an injury to your right hand. Interesting, Mel. Interesting. So it's kind of in that same premise. I think I can do a lot of things with the right hand because it was so, growing up, it was, do it with the left hand. I mean, do it with your right hand, use this hand. And there's a lot of things I can only do with the right hand. I cannot cut left-handed with scissors at all. But anyway, now we come up with that light stroke up as we go around the top over this mountain, as I like to say. We're then going to press down on that marker with a lot of pressure, and you'll see how you got that thicker. I hope you can see. I can bring this down a little bit. It's going to cover my face, but I'm fine with that. Let's see. If we can bring you down just a little bit closer to the paper. There we go. Right, so you can see the difference. Thin stroke up. As we go over the mountain, we're going to press down on that marker and give a thick stroke. As we come down the mountain hill, right, we're going to come back up. So we're going to lift up the pressure on our marker back to the tip. And we want a light going up, a light line going up. So I'll do that here with my left hand so that it'll look a little bit better. So I'm going to come in from the side. I'm coming up with very light pressure on my marker. As I come around and over this mountain, I'm going to press down. I'm going to go down a hill. Imagine you're driving a car When you go down the hill, you tend to put your foot on the brake. So you press down on the brake. As we're going down the hill, we're going to press on the brake. We're pressing down on the marker to give us a thick downstroke. You can see the difference. The transition is right up in here, and we're going to transition again right down here. So we're going to press down, transition back to a thin stroke, right? Let me know this makes sense to everyone. Perfect. So we can come up, over, press. We're going to come up again and lift back up to the tip of that marker, right? We can do the same thing here with our O. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to press down, thick stroke. As I go to round up, I'm going to transition back to that thin point of the marker. Makes sense, right, Mel? Up, we're going to go over the mountain again, press down, right? So we're transitioning here as we go. And then we're going to transition here again from thick to thin back up. Okay, and then you can just practice that a couple of times. Right, I know once you get the hang of it, it goes pretty quickly. So press, transition up, transition down, transition back up. Many different ways to make an O. This is just one of them. And we do our V. We're going to press. We're starting on a downward. So we're going to start pressing down. We're just going to come up sharply with our V with a thin line, right? If we did a nice transition curve there, it would just look like a U. So we're going to come up sharply. You can end your V like that. I like to end with a little curl. Okay, and guys, if you have questions, drop them in the comments. Questions just help me to know how to help you better this time and in our sessions in the future, right? So with our E, just like our L, we're coming in from the side with a thin inward stroke. Then I'm going to come over here. I'm going to come around. You're going to see I'm going to transition just like we did on all the other letters. Hey, sweet Grace. Thank you for joining in, sister. Grace from the Comfy Nest, my girl. Thank you for joining. So as we transition over the top, remember we're going to transition and press down hard on that marker to get that thicker stroke. I know the camera is not real close, but I can thicken this again just so you get the idea. Those downward strokes are where we're going to get thick strokes going down. And then we're going to transition here. So we're going to work on that transition to coming thin back upstroke. You need to practice the letter O, Mel. You have my book, right, girl? You have the workbook. Get yourself some tracing paper with the workbook and just continue to do your beginner strokes, because your O is in that, the beginner strokes, and do those drills. Just fill up a whole page of O's. It will help you. All this is going to build muscle memory. So when I'm writing, I really don't even have to look at the paper. My hand kind of knows where to go. It knows where to press. It knows where to lift. If you noticed, I was looking straight at the camera when I did that E. My hand knows, just like we know how to get on a bike, our feet know how to pedal. Our hands know how to steer. We're going to build muscle memory. Perfect. Melon, let me know. You have a direct hotline. Just let me know if you have any issues. Everyone, please let me know. Thank you, Grace. I'm so glad that you got to catch me live tonight. I absolutely love watching you live, sister. So our last letter is the D, because we are all loved. Oh, Michelle Baker, thank you for joining us, girl. It's okay. I forgive you. I love you, girl. So with our D, It's kind of like our O, but I'm going to start it over here on the side. And I'm going to come upward. So we're coming upward with a thin stroke, upward, and we're going to transition. So what do we do when we transition over? We transition over and we press down on that marker, like we're pressing down on the brakes of our car. So up, light, press down. Okay, so we've got that thick downstroke. We're going to transition back up again. And what we want to do is do this in one fluid motion, just like we did the O. But go slow until you get the hang of it. Right, so I'm going to transition down and lift back, light pressure on my pen tip. I'm going to keep going up. And then I'm going to transition again. I'm going to transition down with a thick stroke. I'm also going to transition again now to go back up. So thick to thin and up. Okay, so you can fill up the whole sheet with these. Don't worry if they're not perfect. They don't have to look just like mine. You are going to develop your own style of writing, drawing your letters, because that's what we're doing. We're drawing letters where it's an art form. Okay, so we can put it all together down here, and I've spaced it out pretty good. What I'm going to do down here is switch to a bigger dual-tipped marker. These are a little bit harder to letter with, so if you're just learning, stick with your little feud. And then, you can always move up to the bigger brushes when you're ready. So I'm going to start over here, and I'm going to come in from the side, thin stroke up. You should be able to see my thick to thin better. Thank you, Michelle. Kevin, you're welcome to come in and learn. We're going to transition over, press. Listen, can you hear that? There's a little ASMR for you. We're going to transition now and come up on that light, not a lot of pressure on the tip of the pen. So you can see the thick and the thin strokes pretty good with this one. I'm going to then come down. I'm going to transition. And as I transition, I'm not moving the pen this way. I'm just pressing and lifting pressure off the tip of that pen. It's never leaving the paper. I mean, it will leave the paper, but in a transition, you're just lifting slightly. Like think of a paintbrush. When you press hard, you're going to get a thick line. And if you lift up slightly on the paintbrush, you're going to get a thin line. So we're going to come upwards, thin, over, press, transition up, and I can stop. Then I'm going to do my V, down. And remember, we're coming up pretty sharp so that it doesn't look like a U. We're going to come in and do our E. Up, same. Up, down, up, up, down, and up. I think next week what we'll do is do maybe 4 of the 8 beginner strokes that make up all of the letters. I do have some videos up on YouTube. I think we have some of the alphabet, but not all of them up yet. That shows you there's 8 strokes. I can show you them right now if I can remember them all. There are 8 strokes to learn to be able to make every letter in the alphabet. So we'll go through this really, really quickly. If you're just coming on, I'd love for you to let me know in the comment, drop the letter L if you're left-handed, and drop the letter R if you're right-handed. I am a lefty, and I'm looking for my lefties. I love all you right-handed people, but I feel so alone. Seriously, though, it helps me to be able to teach you the best way. So Michelle's right-handed. Grace is right-handed. We don't have any lefties yet, and that's okay. Luckily, I can't do it extremely well. Grace, I love you, sister. I can't do it beautifully, but I can demonstrate with my right hand. I'm a little weird like that. I knew what you meant, Grace. I love you too, girl. All right, so let me show you a couple of the beginner strokes. Kim's daughter, you're right-handed. I'm so glad you guys are all here. Don't take it as if I'm telling you to go because you're not lefties. I'm just looking for a fellow lefty so I don't feel quite so wrong brain-sided. But I'm going to show you with my right hand how to do, right? Because when I'm left-handed, I'll just show you this. Let me show you the differences that sometimes throw lefties, that make us think we can't letter because we watch right-handed people do it. So when a right-handed person does an upstroke, they're pulling the marker up lightly. Now mine's a little bit thicker because this is my right hand. But when I'm a lefty doing this, I'm not pulling the marker. I'm pushing the marker. And it does take a little bit more practice to push that marker. Imagine painting and you're pulling your paintbrush, and if you're pushing it, the paintbrush sort of kind of folds back on itself. It's just a weird feeling. So when a right-handed person is pulling a downstroke, say they were coming this way, not too different, right? So you would pull down with your thick strokes. Me as a lefty, it's not much different. I'm doing the same. I'm pulling down. The biggest issue I would run across as a lefty, if I were to continue writing across the page, is running my hand through my ink. So we have to learn different ways. Let's see, a beginner stroke that we could do. Let's do this because we use this for, say, an A. I'm just going to use the whole line, left-handed. I'm going to pull down. I'm going to transition. And as I transition, right, remember, just like doing these thin upstrokes, I have to transition, lift, and I'm pushing the marker tip, right? When you're right-handed, just bear with me, you're pulling down, you're pulling back and lifting back to the tip, and then you're pulling that marker. Like I said, it's not going to be beautiful, but you can see the differences with the hand motion. So that's 3 beginner strokes that you need to learn to brush letter. Then there's another one. It gets a little bit harder. So we're going to do this one, and we're going to do what's called the compound, right? So we can come down. We're going to lift up. We're going to round over and come down again. So it's the same here, but we're rounding, we're transitioning. So this is to practice your transitions. Transition this way, transition that way. What we don't want with a transition is to come up and do this, right? And we tend to do this a lot when we're beginners. So practice is the best way to get better at anything, and just fill whole pages, do drills. And if you are interested, I do have my workbook. My workbook is available, has all the tracers to do all of these strokes, every letter of the alphabet. Hey, Lori Feller, thank you for joining us this evening. If you're just now tuning in, please come back, watch the replay. We have worked out the word love. We've broken it down. We've shown some differences between lefty letterers and right-handed letterers. We've learned 4 beginner strokes tonight. We did a lot in a half an hour here. But I do have one more thing I want to do. The last 3 weeks we've been doing this. I do have a video up on YouTube. And if you like this, I would love, because you know I love to letter, but I also like art. Melanie, it is better to do all of your strokes when you're just learning with the Feud pen, whether it be the Pentel. The Pentel tip is even a little bit softer than the Tombow tip. The Tombow tip is a little bit harder. So the harder your tip, the easier it is to learn. You get that kickback when you go from pressing to lifting. But anyway, I have a video up on my YouTube channel. I can drop a link for you when I'm done to show you how I made these little flower cutouts. I did not use watercolor for these. You can. Oh, maybe I did use watercolor for these. I didn't use watercolor for my carrots. Now, I'll be live tomorrow here on the page at 11 a.m. and we're going to do a little bit of journaling. And I'm going to be using some of these tomorrow. I made these with children's markers. You love the flowers, Lori? Easy, right? So what I've been doing, first week we've done this. We did the word powerful. So I figured I'm going to write it on my flower. The second week, last week, we did the word blessed. You can go back and watch these videos. So I wrote the word blessed on my blue flower. Tonight, I have one flower left. I'll have to make some more. But I want to write my word love on here because I think probably next week I'm going to do a little art project with the flowers. So I hope that you, thank you, Michelle, for doing that. Michelle Baker on Facebook page has dropped the YouTube video link to learn how to make these. It's a 10-minute video. It's so easy, they're so fun, and they're addictive. But let me find my black marker. So this is a Pigma. I have so many markers. This Feud is a little bit harder to learn with. So your best two Feuds to learn with. Thank you, Grace. Hi, Susie. How are you? Thanks for joining in. You can always come back, watch. We learned how to write the word love tonight. Put it together into our word. If you're not an email subscriber, there's a link below. You can go get this to your inbox tonight, and you can be lettering in the next 15 minutes. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take my word loved, and just like I did on these two flowers, because sometimes I need to remind myself that as a widow, raising my two kids, there are a lot of times where I don't feel quite so loved sometimes, but I need to remind myself of these things. And that's what this process has been for me. I learned hand lettering so that I could write these words of affirmation after my husband passed away. Right? This was a way for me to almost meditate. So I remind myself this way. I am powerful. I am. I know, Michelle, and I love you, girl. I love you, sister. We are powerful. I'm blessed. And you guys are blessed too. And if you're ever having a moment where you're not feeling so blessed, drop me a message and I'm going to remind you how blessed you are. I will remind you how powerful you are. And if you forget that you are this, you are loved, I want you to drop me a message. You can inbox me. You can write me on the page. You could do whatever you need to do to let me know that you need to be lifted up in love. Because I have many people, some of them are watching this live tonight, reminding me in the times that I don't feel loved. They are loving me so hard from afar that I never forget. And I will do the same for any one of you. So all you have to do is reach out and tell me you need a reminder, and I will do that for you. But if you'd like to make these flowers, get your tracers, practice your lettering. We're going to do a craft with this probably next Wednesday morning, and I'd love for you to have a few flowers ready if you'd love to do this. But I'm just taking my word that we practiced tonight, and I'm going to letter it here on my flower. Okay, so I'm going to do one more word next week, and then we're going to take the 4 flowers and do a little art project next Wednesday with these. These were done with watercolor. And now, if you don't have watercolor, it doesn't mean you can't make flowers. I want you to see these carrots. I love these carrots. I made a whole field of carrots, okay? We're going to use these tomorrow. So if you want to join me tomorrow, go make yourself some carrots. These carrots were made using markers. Markers can be used as watercolor. Okay, so there is also a video on YouTube showing you how to use the markers as a watercolor base. You can do the same thing with your flowers with markers, right? So if you're interested in that, go check that out. Guys, I hope that you enjoyed this little lesson tonight. Please feel free to leave me specific questions in the comments. Let me know if you watch this in a replay, if you are a lefty letterer, any specific issues that you are having. I would love for you to let me know what they are so that I can serve you better in the weeks to come. Now, I hope you enjoyed this. I want you to go have an amazing rest of your evening. Know that you are all of these things and more. Melanie, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I really enjoyed myself. I hope that you guys did as well. Sprinkle this out, whether you're watching on Facebook or on YouTube. Like, subscribe, make sure you're following the channel. Grace, have an amazing night, girl. Sprinkle this and share it with someone else who might enjoy this type of thing. That is the best thing that you can do for me. Check out the YouTube channel for lots of little videos, lettering and artsy. And I will see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. on the main Facebook page. I think we might stream live over to YouTube as well. Have a good night, guys. You're all blessed. Thank you for sprinkling, Grace. Good night, everybody. I love you all.